What I just heard on the BBC News could potentially rock gold prices. Investors, and welcome back to another weekly episode. Now today's video is a big one, something extremely interesting which I genuinely believe will actually have a detrimental effect to the gold prices. So BBC News recently came out with the fact that the Bank of England is wanting to create its very own CBDC. Now a CBDC is a central bank digital currency. It is a digital form of fiat money that is issued and backed by a country's central bank. Unlike cryptocurrencies, CBDCs is centralized and regulated by the government, and it is intended to function as a digital version of traditional fiat money. Now, that's a mouthful, isn't it? But why is that going to affect gold prices? Well, as we know, the whole situation with cryptocurrencies really coming to life in sort of the last sort of decade has clearly shown the desire for new online untracked digital currencies. Now, will that affect gold prices, and what will it do to actual, other investments like fiat currency and like we say, precious metals? Well, I believe it's going to have a absolutely detrimental effect. Now, here's what one of my subscribers thinks about this. So I'm going to read you an email I received from one of my subscribers who is an avid watcher of the channel. Now, a lot of my subscribers do like to email me and, just give me updates on their personal stack and give me some information, which I really appreciate. So here is this particular subscriber's view of CBDCs. Now, the reason I'm going to read this is because I actually agree with him. So let me read as follows. I think the United States and the UK will make it impossible to purchase silver and gold with CBDCs for your average Joe. It's already getting very difficult to accumulate precious metals in the United States without the government knowing. As predicted by Chris Duane from the Silver Bullet Silver Shield, AG will be unavailable and too expensive, and AG will most likely be the barter currency post shift. He means after the CBDCs have come into effect. However, there isn't enough silver above ground to keep the current system in place. They already mine silver and it is not being salvaged from the landfills. All signs are there for an unprecedented collapse in the United States of America. The petrodollar, well, it's finished. BRICS nation don't want it anymore. Central banking digital currencies is all about control, and the governments of the world want that control over the citizens. It's very hard to explain, and it's a combination of things that are happening. So that's his email. Now, I have to agree with that, and some of the most valid points he made there was the government wants control, and I couldn't agree with that more. Now, what I mean by government wants control is they've clearly seen the effect that cryptocurrencies and other online cryptocurrencies have actually had to the whole world. In fact, money has been completely dumped into online digital currencies, and then you saw that brief period of people investing in pictures such as NFTs. Now, the government's clearly thought, hang on a minute, we're going to lose out here because some form of currencies like Bitcoin are becoming extremely valuable. Now, one Bitcoin at one point I think was valued at over $20,000 or £20,000. Now, that's insane. Can you imagine that versus £1 or $1? So you can imagine how the British governments and the American governments and other governments all across the world probably panicked a little bit and thought, hang on a minute, we need to get on top of this because we could potentially lose out here, and what would happen to fiat money? Well, as us precious metals stackers know, if you've got a good gold stack or silver stack, you can weather pretty much any storm. The bigger your gold stack is and the bigger your silver stack is, the less you have to worry, because if a SHTF situation happens, excuse my language, but a shit hit the fan situation, and fiat money collapses, the government collapses, gold prices will absolutely skyrocket. Now that means if you've already got a large holding, your investment value is going to go up, isn't it? It's going to increase so much, which is going to protect your wealth in that economic crisis situation. So when the UK government does officially release a CBDC, I do think that's going to have a detrimental effect on gold. I think it's going to increase gold's value because people are going to panic. They're going to think that fiat currency is now going to become worthless. Now, the UK government has said, to protect obviously fiat currency, that they're going to link the new CBDC with fiat money. Now, they've obviously done that so people don't panic and think, well, fiat money's going down the drain, blah, blah, blah. They've obviously done that to stop a panic, and they're going to link it with fiat money. But I'm not quite sure how it's going to be linked to fiat money, yet it's going to be its own online CBDC. So let's have a look at the UK bank's actual statement about their new idea of the digital pound. So I'm going to read a little expert here from the Bank of England themselves. They've said the digital pound would be a new type of money issued by the Bank of England for everyone to use for day-to-day spending. You would be able to use it in store or online to make payments. This type of money is known as a central bank digital currency, otherwise known as, you guessed it, a CBDC. You may also hear it being called a digital sterling or even a Brit coin. Don't mistake that for Bitcoin. Brit as in British coin. We call the UK version of CBDC the digital pound. And don't forget, this is coming direct from the Bank of England theirself. The digital pound would be denominated in sterling and its value would be stable. I mean, how they can call it, they can say it's going to be stable, but they don't really know, do they, until the real financial markets react to it. Anyway, £10 in digital pounds would always have the same value as a £10 banknote because they've linked it with fiat money. If we introduced it, it would not replace cash. We know being able to use cash is important for many people. That's why we will continue to issue it for as long as possible with people who want to keep using it. The digital pound would not be a cryptocurrency or a crypto asset, as opposed to cryptocurrencies, which are issued privately. The digital pound would be issued by the Bank of England and be backed by the government. So it's clearly still in its design phase, but they're clearly worried that people are going to panic because how many times did they mention there that it's linked with fiat money and £10 in digital Bitcoin is the same value as a £10 banknote. They clearly are doing this because they feel like they're missing out in regards to what's happening with cryptocurrencies, but at the same time, what they're creating is something that could potentially affect fiat money. Well, it will affect fiat money, but what they're saying is it won't affect fiat money because they don't want to lose money and they don't want the pound to devalue in the United Kingdom. So by saying it's issued by the Bank of England and it's backed by the government, gives people that reassurance. Well, if it's backed by the government, how can it fail? Well, as we know, this has happened before. Look at Brazil and Italy when the recession hit, and Greece. Their values just went whoosh and rocketed down. Now, granted, they didn't have a CBDC, but nonetheless, the government can never really say, it's backed by the government, because if the government fails, the coin fails, doesn't it? So, in final summary, will this affect gold prices and precious metals in general? Of course it will. Any sort of massive change in terms of fiat currency affects gold prices. As we know, global crises rocket up gold and silver bullion. When the Ukraine war started, gold prices went up. When 9/11 happened, gold prices went up. When COVID hit, gold prices went up. So all in all, I think it's a very innovative idea from the Bank of England. I like how they're trying to move with the times and not stay stale and old. But by saying it's backed by the government and that it's not going to affect the fiat currency value, they're clearly trying to reassure people that fiat money isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But the fact that they've even thought about creating a CBDC gives you an indication of where fiat money is going down. So, down and out, I would say. So, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's been a long one with a lot of information, but it's been one of my more enjoyable ones to film, because I've actually really enjoyed this topic. It's so much to it with so much substance. So let me know what you think about CBDCs in the comment below, whether you think they'll affect gold prices or they won't. I would really love to know. So until next time, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye. To watch another episode on gold and silver bullion here on Future Investments, click the link now.